Hi and welcome back to the Rideshare Buddy YouTube channel. My name's Kevin and this video is all about my charging times over the week for the car. It's Monday, got my first job now at 4 o'clock from Bristol Airport. It's 10 to 1. I've come out because I put the both Bolt and Uber on for destination to Bristol Airport just to see if I can pick anything up. There was a couple of jobs came out this morning from OTS, which was pretty tight, so I chose not to do them to take me to Bristol Airport. One of them I couldn't have done. It was Aberporth. I couldn't have got to Aberporth in time to pick up to come to Bristol Airport. So I've got a dead run out. I'm hoping to pick something up on Uber or Bolt, at least the bulk of the way. I'm not going to take little jobs. It's going to have to be a good chunk. So I'm going to hang around Newport for about 30 minutes, see if anything comes out. If not, I'm going to head off there. I want to be there a little bit early. I've got plenty of charge to do the job, but I want to, as this is a charging sort of video,
left lane, turn left on George Street.
I want to head off to a charging station I use over at Clevedon, which is BP, and I'll tell you why I'm using BP when I get there. And I also wanted to do a bit of shopping at the farm shop down at Bristol Airport, or just past Bristol Airport. So I'm going to give it 30 minutes, maybe up to about 1:30. That's 40 minutes. And if I don't get anything to take me out to Bristol Airport, I'll just head out over there. Right, I'm working 4 days this week. I've picked up a job, my own job on Saturday, going from Bristol Airport down to Clayton Hotel in Cardiff. So that's my 4 days this week: Monday, Friday, Saturday, Thursday. Monday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Those are the 4 days I'm working. I should be finished by about 6 tonight if there's no major delays on the plane. So when I drop off in Cardiff, I might drop on what I did yesterday, do Bolt Comfort and Uber Comfort in Cardiff for a couple of hours before I come back home, just to top up the daily earnings a little bit. I'm hoping, I'm just waiting on a Heathrow run on Friday, which will take me most of the way to Gatwick. I've put in a bid on a Bristol Airport, Cardiff to Bristol Airport, and a Cardiff to Heathrow Airport. So if I get one of those, I'll be fine. Either one will just get me out there, or heading out towards them will cover my fuel costs. Preferably the Heathrow, but I'll be happy with the Bristol. We'll see what happens on that. I'm going to give another 10 minutes, and then I'll start heading out towards Bristol Airport. Uber has been pinging me with some jobs, but they've not been worth doing. They've only been £3-4 jobs just down the road, and I want a good run out to Bristol Airport way. So anything at Caldecott, Chepstow, anything like that would be more than enough. But I'm not going to do £3-4 jobs, and I'm not running around town when I head out to Bristol. So let's see what happens over the next 10-15 minutes. Okay, I'm just on my way down to Clevedon now to do a charge up, to show you the BP station down there. I did a Uber from the railway station. I parked up at the railway station, Uber from the station down to the brewery at Mega, £12.14. So it's got me out to the motorway. So I'm heading off to Bristol Airport now. Well, Clevedon BP. Then after I've charged up there, I'll go over to the farm shop, do a bit of shopping, get my pies and my Scotch eggs that I've been ordered to buy, and then up to the airport for my pickup to take to Cardiff. Then once I've got to Cardiff, I'll switch on Bolt Comfort and Uber Comfort. Maybe do an hour and a half, just to top up the earnings for the day. So let's move on for the first charge of the week.
clothes on the floor. I don't know how we ended up here. And we've been flying high. Are we going too far? I got no.
Right, so there we met the BP 150 kilowatt chargers. These are. I've got 41% charge and 112 miles in the clock. So let's just plug in and see what we get. So here we are. I'm on connector B. Let's just start the charge. I'm connected. So we'll just set all that communication go through, and then we'll see what sort of rates we get. Right, it's just connected up. It'll get a little bit faster than that. So 21 minutes from 41% to 80%. Not the greatest of speed on these chargers, but we seem to be going quite slow at 68. It may pick up, we'll see. So the big question is, why am I doing a lot of BP charging? A very simple reason: money. If you remember, a few weeks ago I did a video about how I wasn't getting the BP, the Uber credits on my BP account, and that I was being charged a full 63p for Pulse rather than the 49p rates for Uber drivers. That didn't happen in 1 month. They said they'd carry forward the credit to the next month and take it off that. It didn't happen again, so it's 2 months. And they think they've sorted it out. So I'm hoping they've sorted it out. So what they've done is they've credited me £500 for the 2 missing £250 credits from Uber. They've credited me the difference between the 63p and 49p difference. So that's gone on my account. It's credited. It shows as a credit. And they've also given me a little bit of a top up as an apology. So as of this month, I've got £1,250 worth of free charging credits. That's why I'm at BP. BP, Pulse, you know it makes sense. So that's worth, that £1,200 is worth about 6 weeks charging for me. So I'm going to be doing quite a lot of charging on the BP Pulse, purely for the finances. But when you compare, when you say that the Eon was a 300 kilowatt charge and this is a 150 kilowatt charger, but I'm still only pulling in 58 kilowatts per hour. Yeah, so it's not particularly fast. The BP pump chargers aren't, even though they're advertised at 150 kilowatt hour. They rarely do that. Ionity tends to be a little bit better. They tend to be closer to the 350, but a lot of the time they tend to top out about 120 to 150 kilowatt hour. I have, though, in the summer, when the temperatures have been really good, hit my car's maximum at Ionity, which is 220 kilowatt hour. I think that's the correct one. I don't think it's 220 kilowatt. No, because it's a rate, so it would be kilowatt hour. So I hit the 220 at Ionity. At Eon, I hit 185, which is pretty damn good charging rates. And at Tesla, because they have to, the car has to convert from 400 volt to 800 volt. I'm never going to get more than 98 kilowatt hour from the Teslas. So the best pumps are the Ionity and the Eons. 58 kilowatt hour, which is what's coming in at the moment, is not particularly great. But BP pulse stations are really, really good. So let's have a quick look at the station. So this is the station. It's really handy. It's got a M&S Simply Food, but it's also got the Wild Bean Cafe. And if you're charging your car, you get half price coffee and tea. So you can get a coffee for £1.50. And also some quite nice sausage rolls and pasties if it's lunch break. But this one's also got the Simply Food. It's also got toilets, which is also useful. It's quite handy for Bristol Airport because it's about 6 miles away. Bristol Airport is, but it's through the lanes, but they're pretty decent lanes, so it's not too bad. So this one, BP Pulsat Clevedon, if I come from the airport, probably takes about 15 minutes. It's about 6 miles, maybe a bit more, 15, maybe 20 minutes. It's quite a straight one, fairly decent lanes, not too many passing places and wide enough for 2 cars. And the motorway is just down the road, so it's very easy to get back onto the motorway. So this is quite a nice, I'm up to 97 kilowatt hour now, so it's quite a nice place to come to when I'm doing the Bristol Airports. It saves having to go through Bristol itself to get to the Tesla chargers, and as I've got all that credit, I must well come here. Okay, so I'm hitting 123, 124 kilowatt hour now, which isn't too bad for a 150 kilowatt charger. Okay, so here we are. This is the BP charger. You got 2 bays, 150 kilowatt chargers. Very simple, easy to do when using a map, and you've also got contactless as well if needed. Well, there you go. We've just hit 80%, 29.66 kilowatts delivered, and 21 minutes. Not the fastest of charge, but it's okay. Okay, so that's the first charge of the week done. 20 minutes, and I'm 19 minutes away from the airport. Well, from the farm shop anyway. So let's head over there. So number 1 charge completed. The next time I should see you will be on, next time will be Thursday morning when I do a charge, because that's the next day I'm out working.
I'm a traveling spirit, I've seen many shores.
Okay, so it's well, not strictly day 2 of the trip. It's Wednesday night. Tomorrow, Thursday, I've got that back to back. I've got to pick up in Cowbridge at 10 to 9. So rather than getting up extra early tomorrow to charge up, I'm going to charge up now, and I'll be all ready. Now tomorrow, it's I've got to go to Cambridge, pick up to Bristol Airport, pick up Bristol Airport down to Whitchurch in Cardiff. About 160 miles. So if I charge up to 80%, that's going to be sufficient. I'll give you about 240 miles, so more than enough. But let's have a quick look at the stats. Well, I'm doing it tonight because I've just been doing a lot of running around today. So it's handy just for me to charge up now rather than tomorrow morning, and spend the extra half hour in bed. Okay, so the stats is I've got, what is that? Can you see that? 36% left in the battery, which is 101 miles. So I'll do a charge up to 80%, and that'll be me for tomorrow. I won't need to charge up tomorrow at all then, really. So as you can see, it's another BP station. Again, this one's on the Malpas Road in Newport. MS Food, Wellbeing Cafe, so I can get a cheap coffee if I so need it. Let's have a look at what I'm looking at. 36% up to 80% is another 19 minutes. We're hitting 110. This is a 120 kilowatt charger, so that's okay for 120 kilowatts. 112 kilowatt hour coming in. So let's see, 19 minutes, and then I'll set me up for tomorrow. Right, there we go. That's the BP at Malpas Road. Just the 2 chargers. Again, just the 2 bays, but these are 125 kilowatt hour chargers. Pretty reliable. Most of the time they're working, and it does get quite busy here. Okay, so we go, finish charging. 18 minutes 49 seconds. 249 on the clock, and we have an 80% charge. So that's more than enough for tomorrow. I need 160, 170 at most. Okay, so this is day 2 of my working week. Thursday, got a pick up at 10 to 9 in Cowbridge. Times now is 7:30. Should only take about an hour to get down to Cowbridge from Newport. But it's traffic because it's rush hour, 7:30, 8 o'clock. I'm going to hit traffic on the M4, so I've given myself a little bit of extra time. Fully charged, well, 80% charge on the car, 246 miles in the battery. Today's work is going to be 170 miles at most. So I'm picking up at 10 to 9. I'll be dropping by about 10:30, 11 if everything goes to plan. I've then got about a 2.5 hour wait to pick up at 1 o'clock coming back to Cardiff. Hopefully no plane delays, so I can get it done and get back home. And that's it. And then tomorrow, day 3, is a trip out to Gatwick. Be at Gatwick by about 5:30, 6 o'clock-ish. The plane lands at 5:30, but they won't be through until after 6, 6:15. But I do need to have enough time to do a full charge to get from Gatwick back to Dinas Powys. I have had a couple of opportunities come up to take me out that way, but I just couldn't fit the hours on. I just couldn't get the hours right. The 2 jobs I've been on didn't come through, and I've had a couple of my own personal work come in, but I just couldn't get the hours to work it. So I've had to leave it. So it looks like I'm going to be going down with an empty car tomorrow. I might try and just drop onto Uber and Bolt if we can get a job out to maybe Bristol Airport, Chepstow or somewhere down the motorway just to cover my fuel costs. Right, first trip completed out to Bristol Airport. Got there a little earlier than I thought, 10:30. So I got till 2.5 hours. So I'll spend an hour. Too early for pie. I got a bacon sandwich from the Lycross Farm Shop. Really nice bacon I have there. So next pickup now is flight's due in at 1:05. Probably about 1:45 before they get through. That's going back to Cardiff. So after that, what I'll do is I'll go round to the viewpoint at Bristol Airport, park up there for a couple of hours. It's not really worth driving down to Weston-super-Mare for an hour down at the beach. So I'll just watch the planes for a couple of hours and have a kip. Let's have a look at the stats. So I've got 47% left, 140 miles in the clock, which is going to be more than enough for what I need to go back to Cardiff Airport. So that was what, 23%, 80% minus 47, 23%, 33%, sorry. So I'll use 33% going from home in Newport down to Cowbridge, picking up in Cowbridge, coming out to Bristol Airport. So it's okay, not too bad. Right, so I've just dropped off over at Whitchurch and I'm on my way back home now. I can get home, I'll have about 48 miles and maybe about 18%, 17% maybe left in the battery. So I've got nothing yet to take me out to Gatwick. So I need to be there for about 5:30. The plane's going to land at 5:30, be about 6:30 before they get through. But if I get there for about 5:30, it's going to give me an hour to top up the battery, have something to eat and have a rest. So I need to leave probably about 1 o'clock, 4.5 hours, maybe 12, give me 5.5 hours. So what I may do, because I've got nothing booked in, is go out on Uber and Bolt and put my destination in and see if we can get something out towards maybe Chepstow, Caldecott, Chepstow, maybe even Bristol, to get me out there and cover my costs. And then it's all profit coming back. So because I'm only going to have about 18% left in the battery by the time I get home, I'm going to do a charge up now. And what I'm going to do, so you don't get too bored of BP, because I'm going to be doing a big fill up at BP down at Gatwick tomorrow, at their super hub down there. What I'm going to do is I'm going over to Ionity at Mega, and I'm going to do a 90% charge. So that set me up for tomorrow. If I get a little bit of extra work in the morning, I can always do a top up on the way down to Gatwick if needed. But 90% should see me down to Gatwick without a problem, even if I have to detour to say Bristol Airport or something like that. If I get in Bristol or Chepstow, I've got a bit of room there for detouring. So let's head off over to Ionity and do a 90% charge. Actually, I've changed my mind. I'm only going to do an 80% charge, because if I do get some work, there is actually, I've just remembered, there's an Ionity charger station just off the M4, just past the Cheltenham turn off. So if I do get some work and I don't have enough miles to get down to Gatwick, because I have to detour, I can stop off on the M4 at Cheltenham and do a quick charge up to get me down to Gatwick. Plenty of chargers all the way down the M4 that I don't need to worry too much about, because some of them, there's even BP pulse chargers that I can call in at if needed. BP Pulse, you know it makes sense. Before that free charging, of course it does. Okay, so that Ionity, we got 1, 2, 3 cars pulled in on the 4th car, so hopefully we'll get a decent charge. Let's have a look at the stats. So I've got 13% left and 37 miles. So let's just plug it in and see what happens. So we've just plugged in and just waited for the communication to get going. One of the, all the pumps are operational, but one of them next door to me is being used as a scrap yard, or sorry, a storage yard for all of the roadworks. So that's one out of them out of action, which is not great. So we've connected. We're going from 13% to 80% in 19 minutes. Now that's the difference with the Ionity chargers. They just charge so much faster. I think last night was 27% up to 80% was 19 minutes. And we're really sort of kicking on up. We should hit quite a good rate because I've been driving all day. So the battery should be fairly warm. So hopefully that will go up even more. So this is the Ionity station. There's currently 6 superchargers. These are 350 kilowatt chargers, and there's places for another 6. So this can go up to 12 chargers when it's fully operational, but at the moment it's just 6. You got the Thai Hotel just over there. There's not much in the way of services here. You got a Subway and there's a Sawyer's Bar and Grill, but neither of which offer toilets. So very fast charging, but not great on the facilities. Although the Subway lunchtime special, I think you can get a meal deal. If I remember rightly, the last one I bought was £3.49, which was a 6-inch sub, a cold drink, and a cookie. So not too bad for a lunchtime stop. But we seem to be settling down at around 112, which is a bit slow for this one, but not too bad. So one of the nice things about the Ionity is that you can actually see the pricing. This is at 43p kilowatt and it shows you the pricing there. The problem with the BP is it does show pricing after you've charged up, but it's the pricing at 63p a kilowatt, which is what the BP Pulse gives you. But of course, as an Uber driver, you're only paying 49p a kilowatt, and you have to wait for your monthly bill to come through to see what your actual charge is, because they give you it as a discount. Now, that's the good thing about the BP Pulse, is that it helps your cash flow, because BP Pulse, you only get invoiced once a month, so you get once a month payment taken out of your bank. Whereas with Ionity and Tesla, it comes straight out your bank account, and Ionity, I believe, has a £30, or is it a £40? It's either a £30 or £40 holding charge, and Tesla has a £20 holding charge. So it's not great if you have to fill up 2 or 3 times in a day and the holding charges haven't cleared out. BP, though, you don't have to worry about that. It's just a straightforward monthly invoice that comes out your bank account for a direct debit, so it really does help with cash flow, even though at 49p it's a little bit more than both Tesla and Ionity. But if you are stuck for a bit of cash, BP is the way to go, really. Yep, it's kicking in a bit now. It's up to 184 and flicking 185 kilowatt hour charging, which is really nice. In the summer, when the temperature's nice and warm, I do get 220, which is where the car maxes out. Can't go above 220 because the car won't do it. But 185, I'm happy with 185 kilowatt hour for charging rate. It's what I was getting at Eon, and it really does just help you charge up quicker. Okay, so we've got 80% charge in the car now, in the battery, and 245 miles on the clock. So that's enough for getting me down to Gatwick tomorrow, and if I do some extra work in the morning, I can top up on the way down. Okay, so I'm on to day 3, which is a Gatwick run. Nothing pre-booked for that, unfortunately. So I've set both Bolt and Uber to destinations Bristol Airport. I did try and book it to Gatwick, but neither of them would accept it, saying it was too far away. So I've done it for Bristol Airport. It's just gone 12 o'clock. I'm only going to wait around for half an hour. I'm not taking anything less than £20. Nothing comes by 12:30. I'm going to head off. I'm going to head off a little bit early.
East on King Street toward Cardiff Road.
Because 2 reasons. One is it's Friday, and I'm going to hit London and the M25 if I go that way, just as the rush hour traffic starts. So I might go down to M4, then cut off at the M4, go through Guildford, and then come round the back roads. I want to try and avoid that M25 rush hour. The second thing is, coming back tonight, I don't think I'm going to get back to the new Severn crossing or the Prince of Wales Bridge by 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, the bridge closes, and that means I'm going to have to go over the old bridge, the Queen Elizabeth Bridge, and go via Chepstow. So it's going to be a little bit of a delay there. The other thing for leaving a little bit earlier is that I don't like driving much past 2.5 hours in one stretch, and then I like to have a break. So I'm going to take about 20 minute break on the way down to Gatwick. Plane out at 5:30, still on time, no delays at the moment, but it's only quite a local one. So get down to Gatwick for about 5, give me a chance to charge up to 90%, and have something to eat and a little bit of a rest before it's terminal meet and greet. So I need to be in the terminal about 30-40 minutes after the plane lands, and then it's just a dash home for Friday night traffic. Hopefully the traffic will be clearing by the time I get away from Gatwick, which is probably going to be close on 7 o'clock, but we'll see how it goes. I've got 229 miles in the clock, but that's because I've got the heater on. If I turn the heater off, give me a bit longer, but I'm going to have enough to get down there, I think. Let's just check the mileage down to Gatwick. Yeah, I've got 161 miles from where I am, from home down to Gatwick. So I got plenty in the charge. Might be a little bit longer or a bit higher mileage if I decide to go via Guildford. But I should still, it won't be more than 60 miles more. So I'll get down there, do 90% charge, and that'll get me back to Dinas Powys, hopefully. Then I'll do a charge to get me back home. So let's see how it goes. Let's have a quick look at the stats. So there we go, 78%, 228 miles, and 161 miles to destination. Okay, so it's 12:30, I've just gone 12:30. So I'm going to knock off Bolt, but I'm going to keep Uber on. Uber's sent me a few jobs, just not worth doing. £4, £5 jobs. I wouldn't have done them anyway. But I'm really looking for a good chunky job out to Gatwick. But I'm going to keep Uber on until I get past Mega on the M4. And the reason for that is you can get some pretty decent work out of the brewery at Mega, especially on a Friday. They have a lot of specialist consultants, specialist technicians, specialist plumbers who work there during the week, but they live on the continent, so they fly home. So I may grab Bristol, because it's Friday afternoon, from the brewery. So we'll see what happens. If not, once I pass the brewery, once I pass Mega, I'll take off Uber as well, and just head straight down to Caldecott. Okay, so nothing at all from the brewery or the T Mega hotel. So straight on now to Gatwick. I've got 151 miles to go. 218 in the battery. That gives me 50, 60, 65 miles clear. Enough there for me to take a detour down through Guildford if I feel I want to go that way.
I'm a traveling spirit, I've seen many shores, from the West Pacific to the island of Kenya. They treat me like a son anywhere I go, and even though no one can tell, I still feel that I'm alone. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm alone. Leave me stranded, I know how to handle it all on my own.
Arrived at the BB Pulse at Purple Parking. Let's get plugged in, get charging up. I need to go and check out the facilities because I need a loo, and then we can come back and check what the situation is regarding this flight. Okay, this is a bit of a pain, these pumps are, because there's two nozzles, CCS nozzles, to each charger. Neither of them marked, but when you go and charge up, it says nozzle 1 or nozzle 2, and they're not marked, so you have to play about trying to figure out which nozzle's which, and just keep plugging and unplugging. It's not very user friendly. Also, when you come in, when you directly come in, the ones in front of you are 150 kilowatt chargers, and the ones along the side are 50 kilowatt an hour chargers. So I finally plugged in and got things ready. So the stats are, I was at 22% when I arrived, 21 minutes to 80%. So I think I had about 38, no, I had 62 miles left on. So 21 minutes to 80% charge. I'm going to shift that up to 90% now. Okay, so we're up to 90%, which is 28 minutes. That's going to give me a little bit of extra leeway, because I have to go to Dinas Powys, depending on the flight, and also want to have a loo and a bit of a break, so that's fine as well. So let's get this charged up, and I'm going to check the flight details now. Right, the plane's due at 6:15, so 45 minutes late, so not as bad as it was originally. They seem to have picked up a bit of time, so I'm going to go out, use the loo, and grab a cup of coffee and something to eat before this plane comes in, 6:15. So about a 2-hour wait. Well, that's a bit disappointing. Well, there's a car. There's the 1, 2, 4, 2, 3. I think they're 150 kilowatt chargers, 2 to a unit, and then over there you've got 50 kilowatt chargers. Over there at the reception there's toilets, but there is nowhere for a cup of coffee or for something to eat. I thought there was supposed to be a BP lounge here, but I might be getting that mixed up with another different car park situation. Maybe that's over at somewhere in London, I don't know. But as you come straight through the car park, the ones in front of you are the ultra chargers, the ones to the side are the 50 kilowatt fast chargers. Yeah, so Addison Lee has just pulled in front side of me, sharing my charger, so I'm both down to 69 kilowatt hour charging, which is not great because that's pushed me out to 33 minutes till 90%. Okay, so I'm just coming up to 90%. It's going to give me about 270 miles. Gatwick to Dinas Powys, it's about 188. So I've got about 80 miles to spare, so fairly straightforward. Plane is due in at about 20 past 6. It's running about an hour late. So it's now 5 o'clock. By the time this is finished, it's going to be about 5 past 5. I'll go round to the long stay car park where you get 2 hours free car parking. That'll take me up to 7 o'clock, and then I'll head for the short stay car park, and then it's in terminal meet and greet. So hopefully if the plane lands about 20 past 6, I'm hoping I'll be out by 7 o'clock, and then we can be on our way, because I want to be home before 11 if I can. Well, as there's nowhere to grab a coffee, fortunately this is the Ioniq 5 with a 240 power volt plug, and I've got my coffee heater. So I've got a mug of water and I've got my sachets of instant coffee ready to go. Should take about 2 minutes. Oops, there you go, about 2 minutes, and it's brewing up quite nicely. The best one I've found yet for making coffee on the go, I did try the plug-in kettles, but none of them were as quick as this. This is just flies through and boils up really quickly. Okay, so just dropped off, 10 to midnight, 2.5 hours later than I should be tucked up in bed 2.5 hours ago. I got 36 miles on the clock, on the charge, just as well I went to 90%, which is 15% charge, so 36 miles left in the battery. I could just about squeeze it home, but I don't have about 10 miles left, so I don't want to take that though. So I'm going to head off to Tesla at Pomprenot in Cardiff Tesla Centre. I'm only going to do 50% charge at most. I'm not doing any more than that. I just want to get home to bed. There's a reason why I don't do Gatwick, Standsted and Luton, and that is because it's too far and too many things can go wrong, and everything went wrong today. So the plane was an hour late, fine, no problem with that. Then I came and went the M3 route up through Bexhill. M3 no problem. The A322M was shut. So we got sent all the way around through Bexhill and up through Reading. Most of the way was through Bexhill was crawling at about 6-7 miles an hour. And then we had to go all the way through Reading city centre, stopping at all the lights. Got to Reading M4. Reading M4 was closed. We got to set all the way down the A40, A4, up to Chieveley Services, and then we picked up the M4 at Chieveley Services. Got down to Bath. M4 closed at Bath. Got sent off at Bath, all the way around the Bath Ring Road, all the way around the Bristol Ring Road, onto the M32, up the M32, onto the M5, yeah, onto the M48 because the Prince of Wales Bridge was closed, so we had to go over the old bridge and up through Chepstow. It added, I should have had about 85 miles clear after dropping, which would have allowed me to go home straight away and have plenty of charge for going to charge up tomorrow. But I've only got 35, so I could do that, but I'd only have 12 miles left, and it'll take the battery down to below 10%, which I don't really want to do. So I'm going to do 50% charge now. 2.5 hours late, 40 miles detour. It's why I don't do Gatwick, why I don't do Stansted, why I don't do Luton. I'll do my own work because my own work is at full retail value, but OTS, it's right at the bottom end of the subcontract work. Not quite as bad as Uber, but pretty bad. Certainly no room in it for it to deal with that sort of issue. So the other issue I've got to look at when I get tomorrow when I wake up, I've got a Bristol, I think it's Cardiff tomorrow afternoon on, but next week I've got a couple of Heathrows pick up at Heathrow, so I need to check the time and make sure that if it is a delay, that those motorways are open, the M4 is open, because if the M4 is on an overnight closure for most nights, I'll be handing those back to OTS. I'll be cancelling them tomorrow, so we'll have to find out what the M4 situation is for next week and week after, and then depending on what it is, I'll cancel the Heathrows. Well, let's get up to Tesla. I had no plans to charge up after dropping at Dinas Powys. If all of the routes had been opened, I wouldn't have needed to, but as these things happen, I've got to. I was a bit lucky. I really didn't think I'd get back without having to do a charge on the way, but I did manage to do that. So let's get up to Tesla, get charged up, well, 50%. Okay, so let's have a look at quick stats. We've got 11% and 27 miles. So not great, but let's get charged up and see how quickly we can hit 50. Okay, so we've got 67 kilowatt hour coming in. 20 minutes to 50%. I'm only going to knock it up to 30%, then I'll disconnect and stop charging. I'm not going to wait around 20 minutes. I'm just too tired now. Just want to get home. So normally with a Tesla, we normally hit around 98. And then it sticks at that because that's where the car sort of caps it out at, because it's got to convert up to 800 volt. But this is only going 68, 69 tonight. Now I've got a very low charge, 13% in the battery. The car has been running for 5 hours solid, so the battery should be nice and warm. But it's only delivering 69. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 other cars here. So maybe it's all been shared and capped and stuff like that. Not a good rate of charge, 69 kilowatt hour. Not good. Yeah, so it's been a long day today. If I work out my hourly rate, I've not earned minimum wage. It's been less than minimum wage, so because of the delay and the detours, it's just not worked out. But that's what happens with long trips like Gatwick. When you head down Gatwick, Luton, Standsted, there's too many risks involved, and that's why I don't normally do it. But I did want to do it once, just to see what it was like. Bit disappointed in the BP servers down there. I thought there was a lounge down there with coffee and tea and refreshments, but there isn't. Toilets out, that's a good thing. And not as big as I thought it was. Maybe it's a grid serve down there that's got the big lounge and stuff. I'll have to research that, but I'm not going back to Gatwick. So we're at 16%, 4 minutes. As soon as we hit 30, I'll disconnect and head back. Right, so we go, 30%, taking me 9 minutes, 59 seconds, so 10 minutes, up to 30%, giving me 78 miles. So that's enough. Hi, and welcome back. And today is Saturday, day 4, and the final day of my working week. Today I have just the one job booked in, picking up at Bristol Airport, standard pickup, no meet and greet. Flight's due at 3:30. It's now coming up to 1:30. I'm just going to go to BP, do an 80% charge up, which should see me through today. I'm umming and ahhing about whether, after I've dropped off at the Clayton Hotel in Cardiff, because it's a Saturday night, whether to do a Uber Comfort and Bolt Comfort session for a couple of hours, because I'll be dropping off about 6, which is about when people start to go out. So I may do that, but I'm still feeling pretty sore from yesterday's job. At my age, spending 5.5 hours, 6 hours, sat in one position, driving a car, makes your bones sore. And my hip, and the arthritis in my hip, is playing up a little bit today. So I may just go home and have an early night and just cut it at the end of the week. But I'll see how I feel once we get there. So let's get down to BP, get charged up, and get over to Bristol Airport. Okay, so we're at the BP. Here are the stats: 26%, 68 miles range. I'm going to drop it off up to 80%, because I think I'm currently on 50% from yesterday. So let's just go and set my charge level, DC to 80%, and that's going to do enough for today. And also, if I stay out a little bit later tonight, I haven't yet decided. But let's get charged up, and I'll go and get myself a half-price coffee while I'm here. Right, it's not looking particularly good today. Quite a slow charge. 27 minutes to 80% from 27%. So that's quite slow. But I have only just started, so the battery's cold. I've got no preconditioning, so I can't bring the temperature up. So it's really going to be a case of that speeding up a little bit once the charge itself warms up the battery. But 26 minutes to 80%, it's a little bit slow. Yeah, so now that the battery's nicely warmed up, we are hitting that 122 kilowatt hour charging rate, which is okay from a 150 kilowatt charger. So only a couple more minutes and then we'll head off. Right, there we go. We've topped up. It took 25 minutes 53, got 80% in. That charge cost of £27.62. That's priced at 63p kilowatt. Now, as an Uber driver, when you get your invoice through at the end of the month, you'll get a 20% discount, which brings it down to 49p kilowatt. So don't treat that £27 as being the actual cost. You've got, what, £5.20 to come off that, so it's about £22. So, there we are. 224 miles on the battery, 80% charge. Flight radar is showing that the plane is landing in 1 hour 43 minutes. So what I'm going to do, I haven't got time to go too far out of my way, so I'm going to flick on the Uber app, put destination down for Bristol Airport, and head straight over there now. Right, that's it, just passing Mega. I'm going to knock off Uber now. I only had the one job offer. Uber needed to sort out their destinations. The offer was to pick up at Mega to take back to Newport. Now technically, by the time I dropped off in Newport, I may have been about a quarter of a mile closer to Bristol Airport, technically. But I'm not going to drive out from Newport to Mega to pick up at Mega, to take back to Newport, to drive back out to Mega on the way to Bristol Airport. They need to sort destinations out. Well, I've knocked it off now. Gone past Mega, I'm not likely to pick up anything else now. So, onwards to Bristol Airport for this pickup. Now, what I've got a question for you. I'll have to check this out to find out what the situation is. I'm getting a tremor on my car at high speeds. I know what it is. It sounds like, or feels like, it's a tracking. Tracking just needs to be readjusted. But I don't know, do EVs have tracking? Or is that something just for petrol and diesel cars? And if it has tracking, does it have to be done by an EV specialist? Or can anybody do it? You know, any of the tyre places that does four-wheel alignment, can they do it? I don't know. If you know, if you've got this far through the video and you know the answer to that, drop it in the comments, because I do really need to get this sorted out. Pretty sure it's just the tracking or the wheel alignment that needs sorted. Okay, so that's it. Final job done. 6 o'clock. Well, 5 to 6 when I dropped them off at the Clayton Hotel. Cardiff is absolutely kicking off. It is loads busy. A lot of people in fancy dress because it's Halloween, and I think it's going to be a busy one tonight. But I can't be. I'm too tired after yesterday. I mean, I didn't get to bed till 1:30. Was back up at 7 this morning because I had things to do. So I'm about ready to go back home and enjoy leisurely evening in. So that's it. My 4 days work this week. I've got 142 miles left in the battery, 52%. So what did I use? 28% of my battery on today's journey. Out from Newport to Bristol Airport, back to Cardiff. So not too bad.
Exit the roundabout onto East Tyndall Street.
Total charge time, I didn't keep them running total.
In 200 yards,
but
there's a roundabout. Take the third
I'd say it's probably about 2 hours of charging. Most of that 2 hours of charging, I would have had the break anyway. So it's not as though I've gone out specifically to charge, because I'd have just arranged my charging around break time. So that's it. It's Saturday and I'm signing off on my 4-day week. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you managed to work your way through this, because this is going to be quite a long video, I imagine. But that's the way it is. So thanks for watching. Take care. And if you do know if EVs need to have their tracking done, do let me know.